Here's something that will make you rethink your entire morning. You haven't eaten a single thing. You haven't touched junk food. You slept a full 7 hours. And yet, your belly fat isn't moving. Not an inch. Not after weeks. Most people assume the problem is diet, or they're not working out hard enough, or their metabolism is just broken. But the real answer is stranger than that. Your body made a decision about your belly fat this morning, probably within the first hour of you waking up. And whatever you did after that, whatever you ate, however hard you trained, it didn't matter. The decision was already locked in. This video is about that decision. How it happens, why most people accidentally get it wrong every single day, and what to do instead without extreme diets, without punishing workouts, and without fighting your own body. Stay until the end. The last piece of this is the one most people overlook entirely, and it might be the reason nothing else has worked. Why your morning determines everything. The body doesn't think in calories. It doesn't respond to your intention, your discipline, or how badly you want to change. It responds to one thing only: signals. And the most powerful signal window of the entire day is the 60 to 90 minutes after you wake up. Here's what's happening biologically. After hours of sleep, your body is mildly dehydrated. Blood is thicker. The heart is working harder. Your adrenal glands, which produce cortisol, are at their most sensitive. And your brain, in those early waking moments, is running a quiet background check on one question: is this environment safe? If the answer is yes, your hormones settle, fat-storing enzymes stay inactive, and your body has no reason to hold on to visceral belly fat. If the answer is no, even subtly, cortisol escalates into a stress response. Fat storage enzymes activate, and belly fat, which has an unusually high concentration of cortisol receptors, gets the loudest message of all: lock down, protect reserves, do not release. The cruel part? This happens invisibly. You feel fine. You feel like you're trying. But your biology has already moved in the opposite direction. So what sends the wrong signal? And how do you send the right one instead? Signal 1. Water and salt. The most underrated habit in fat loss. Before coffee. Before your phone. Before anything else. Overnight, your body loses water through breathing, through skin, through the basic cost of being alive. By morning, blood volume is down. Circulation is strained, and the adrenal glands read this as a scarcity signal, which means raise cortisol. Most people respond by reaching for coffee. This is the exact wrong move. What the body actually needs first is water, ideally with a pinch of natural sea salt or Himalayan salt, not for flavor, for information. Sodium tells the hormonal system that resources are available. It signals the renin-angiotensin-aldosterone pathway to stand down. Cortisol begins to fall. The adrenals stop sounding the alarm. Adding fresh lemon juice brings potassium into the equation. Sodium and potassium together send a clear autonomic message: equilibrium, not emergency. This takes under 2 minutes. But biologically, it's the foundation. Every other morning habit you do sits on top of this one. If you skip it, you're building the rest of your morning on an already stressed system. Signal 2. Step outside. Your eyes are clocks. Your body has a 24-hour biological clock. And unlike your phone's clock, it can't self-correct automatically. It needs to be reset every single morning with light. Within 5 to 10 minutes of waking, stepping outside, and allowing natural morning light into your eyes without sunglasses sends a direct signal from your retina to the hypothalamus, the brain's hormonal command center. This triggers a sharp, healthy cortisol spike that rises briefly to generate alertness, then falls decisively once its job is complete. This is the only kind of cortisol spike you actually want. Brief, purposeful, finished. Without it, sitting under indoor lighting, staring at screens, staying inside, cortisol neither peaks cleanly nor falls fully. You end up in a state of low-grade, lingering stress for hours. Visceral fat responds to this exactly as it's designed to. Hold on tight. There's a second effect worth knowing. Morning sunlight generates serotonin, and that same serotonin converts into melatonin at night, enabling deep sleep. The quality of your sleep tonight is being built by the light you receive this morning. Deep sleep regulates cortisol, and regulated cortisol, night after night, is one of the most consistent predictors of whether visceral fat holds or releases over time. You don't need to exercise. You don't need to stare into the sun. Just go outside and let the light reach your eyes. 10 minutes. That's the entire ask. Now here's where it gets counterintuitive, because the next two signals go against almost everything the fitness world tells you to do in the morning. Signal 3. Delay your coffee by 90 minutes. This one creates the most resistance. But hear the biology out. When you first wake up, a molecule called adenosine is still present in your brain. Adenosine is what creates sleep pressure. It builds up during wakefulness and gets cleared during sleep, but the clearing isn't complete the moment your alarm goes off. It takes roughly 60 to 90 minutes to finish. Caffeine doesn't clear adenosine. It blocks the receptors that detect it. So when you drink coffee immediately after waking, you're not restoring energy. You're building a dam behind which adenosine continues to accumulate. Then, later in the afternoon, when caffeine wears off, that backlog floods in all at once. Energy crashes hard. The body interprets this as an emergency and releases cortisol to compensate. Your brain then craves sugar as a fast dopamine response. Not because you're weak, but because your nervous system is reacting to a hormonal disruption that started at 7 a.m. with your first cup of coffee. Waiting 90 minutes changes the entire equation. The cortisol awakening response completes naturally. Adenosine clears on its own. When caffeine finally arrives, it's working with an already alert brain, not masking an incomplete one. Afternoons stay stable. Sugar cravings fade. Cortisol has no reason to spike reactively. Your coffee still comes. It just comes later, and it works dramatically better. Signal 4. Walk slowly. Intensity is the enemy this early. If you've been doing intense morning workouts and wondering why belly fat won't move, this might be the answer. High-intensity exercise in the morning, before safety signals have been established, reads to the primitive brain as a survival threat. Rapid heart rate, labored breathing, hypoxia, lactate accumulation. The amygdala doesn't know you're in a gym. It responds to the physical signals of danger. The result? Cortisol surges. And for visceral fat, dense with cortisol receptors, that surge means one thing: protect, store, don't release. Slow walking sends the opposite message. A calm, easy pace is one of the most evolutionarily ancient signals of safety. There is no predator. There is no emergency. We are simply moving through our environment. The mechanism behind this is called optic flow, the steady visual movement of your surroundings as you walk. Neuroscience research shows this directly dampens activity in the amygdala, reducing the brain's stress response at the source. Slow walking doesn't burn belly fat through exertion. It unlocks it by turning off the alarm. 10 to 15 minutes is enough. Outside is better because it doubles as light exposure. The goal isn't cardiovascular output. It's nervous system permission. Intense training isn't off the table. It's just better placed later in the day, once the body is no longer in its morning assessment window. Signal 5. Protect your first 30 minutes from your phone. This is the one most people dismiss as nice in theory. It's also the one that quietly sabotages everything else. The brain immediately after waking is in its most impressionable state. The parasympathetic nervous system, rest and repair, is still dominant. The body is ready to receive safety signals and settle into the day. The moment you check your phone, dopamine and cortisol fire simultaneously. Notifications, comparisons, news, unread messages. Each one is a small threat signal. The sympathetic nervous system activates before hydration, light, and movement have had a chance to do their work. You don't feel it as stress. You feel productive, plugged in, informed. But underneath, cortisol has been redirected from a healthy morning rhythm into a prolonged stress response. The biological window closes. Fat storage enzymes are quietly switched back on. 30 minutes. That's all the protection required. Keep the phone face down. Let the other 4 signals integrate without interruption. Once the brain has established its baseline, stable, oriented, calm, incoming information causes far less disruption. Here's what changes when you run all 5 signals in the right order consistently. You don't get thinner by working harder. You get thinner by stopping the interference. Cortisol completes its natural cycle instead of running all day. Fat storage enzymes stay quiet. Visceral belly fat transitions from protected survival reserve to available fuel, not because you forced it, but because your body no longer has a biological reason to hold on to it. Hunger drops without restriction. Afternoon crashes disappear. You eat less without counting a single calorie. The body, when it finally feels safe, stops hoarding. This is the biology that was always there, waiting for the right signals instead of the right amount of suffering. Your body was never the problem. It was always just listening.